My name is Sarah Riva. I'm going to be going over the test results for Jane, a 10-year-old white Caucasian female who is having academic difficulties in school. She was referred to take the Wechsler Intelligence Scale for Children, the 4th edition. Her results in different categories gave light to different issues that Jane is having. Some of Jane's weaknesses, some of Jane's strengths. Just a little bit about Jane. Jane is a 10-year-old female. She lives with her mother and father. Her language is English. She is proficient in English. No issues there. She's a healthy child. She's met all of her milestones. No medical, psychiatric, or neurological concerns. No substance abuse history. No heavy medications. Her education or her school history, good reports, good attendance. All of her standardized tests, though, she does show below average scores in reading, math, and language. The results for her assessment showed that generally Jane fell into the average range in most of the categories. In her cognitive abilities, she was average. In her full-scale IQ testing portion, she was average. In her verbal comprehension index, where they were assessing reasoning abilities, Jane scored 61% higher compared to her peers. In her nonverbal reasoning, she scored 55% higher than her peers. And that was assessed by the Perceptual Reasoning Index. In the Working Memory Index category, she was a little bit lower, but she's still lower than average, but she still scored 18% above her peers. And in the Working Memory Index category, this is where it's a short-term memory, where you have the ability to remember things short-term and then apply them. And this could result in some learning errors. And then in her processing speed index, she scored average also, but a little bit lower, 27% above her peers. And this is gauging her ability to process visual material quickly. So once again, this is a visual assessment, or visual skill has to do with this. And in the beginning, in her profile, it was noted that Jane has a little bit of trouble focusing her vision, and this could be an issue. This could be an issue, and this could be affecting some of her learning capabilities. Her score for her full-scale IQ was a 97. Her visual comprehension index was 104, and her processing reasoning index was 102. These are all average scores. Our recommendations for Jane, for one, primarily to check out her vision. We want to make sure that she gets a full vision test to see if any of her difficulties in some of these categories and subtests are because of her vision. Other than her vision, we recommend that Jane spend a little bit more time reviewing information to offset the trouble she's having in her short-term memory so she can apply them. Chunking technique to where she's not remembering things singularly. She's remembering things in pairs or in clumps, especially numbers, and to take her time on her homework. Jane fell in percentile ranks in a lot of categories that were in the average range. Her lowest percentile rank was in the processing speed category. Her highest percentile rank was in the verbal comprehension. In categories, some subtests where she fell furthest below the mean were her letter number sequencing, her digit span, and her coding, which once again has to do with the visual, the organizing, and remembering in the short-term memory application, remembering long patterns of numbers. So Jane also did score in applying her knowledge, which is arithmetic, a 50 percentile rank. So Jane's weaknesses fall under categories with a lot of visual, organization, and memory aspects. And Jane's strengths are in verbal comprehension, in reasoning, and in arithmetic. I would say that Jane could benefit